Well, it's the 1st of September and I'm immersing myself into nature, really immersing myself into nature, which is why we've put the camera this way round for you today. I've fallen in love this year with this Acer, and I just wanted to share it with you. The colours have been absolutely magnificent as they've changed every month. Really, it's sort of taken me into how the simplest things in life can be the most endearing and the most expansive making and supportive that we have around us. It's simple and yet complex. It has depth of colour and form, and you see it completely differently depending on what angle you're looking at it from. So I've got some leaves that are now, the sun's just come out and the sky is blue and white and grey and black, and it depends where you're looking. And so the leaves have a very different like sort of pinky red and yellows and golds and greens. And yet if I look lower down, when the light isn't behind it, I get a different sense and a different feeling. And this represents what September is all about, really. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, we're just beginning to, at the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. We've certainly had a few days now, the end of August, where it's definitely felt like autumn. What usually happens is we have a bit of sunshine in a week or so, and then we'll know we're in autumn. So times have changed. When we come on to the cusps and the pinnacles of the season changes, it does become more noticeable, and we all have favourite seasons. I don't know what your favourite season is. Let me know in the comments fields below. You know, why is it your favourite season? What do you love about it? And, you know, sometimes we resist change, even in the seasons. If we take the subject of seasons here, it's like, which one do you resist the most and why do you resist it? I was speaking earlier with a good friend of mine about resistance today and how we like it. We like it when we actually feel resistance to something, because it's almost like the universe is knocking at the door of our hearts or our emotions or our minds to say, you're resisting something. What is it? Have a closer look. Is it something that you want to form, you know, deeper boundaries against or between? Or is it something you want to collapse the resistance and accept and commune with on a deeper level? What is it for you? So resistance, I think, is our friend. So it's really nice to know, really, you know, which is your favourite season and why, just because it gives you more information about you. And that's what this year has all been about, really. It's about gathering more information about how you tick, how with the things you like, what you don't like, what you found overwhelming, what you found easy. It's been a whole year of that, hasn't it? So anyway, Gaia, energy for September. I've got a little bit of a list, so I've got my piece of paper here, which is why I'm looking down there. The first one she spoke about is that we are, humanity is now the agents of change. Okay, if you just sit with that for a minute, you are the agent of change. And this actually isn't just for September, it's sort of had pockets throughout the year, but October is going to be a massive one to do with this, a massive, massive one. But we start it now in September, so I wanted to introduce the idea to you in September. So it's about just wearing that for a moment, sort of going inside and going, okay, what does that actually mean for me? I am an agent of change. What is that? And what Gaia means is that we all stand for something. You know, it's sort of beyond opinions and beyond discussions and beyond likes and dislikes, really, into the realm of actionable behaviour to have some behavior that you can action because of your belief structure. So she's talking about us all really bringing into our sovereignty, into our knowing, into our acceptance levels, into our awareness that we are agents of change. And so we are responsible, and we are leaders, and we are capable, and we have the bandwidth to make the changes, to make our lives better and better and better and better and better, or the opposite. And she's just asking everybody who's hearing this to sit with oneself and go, okay, I'm an agent of change. In which direction am I going? Where is my focus? What am I feeding? What energy am I putting into various ideas and projects and belief structures and what's on Instagram or anything else? It's what energy am I adding to this complexity of life? Because we are the agents of change, she's reminding us now. So it's time to be consciously aware of your choices. So one of the things I've been guided to share with you is that this is a time of letting go. That's what the autumn is in our, northern hemisphere. It's about, soon these leaves will all have transferred themselves back into the earth so that they can go into the earth and they can be part of the organic growth of the soil, and it'll feed the soil. And so it's like, and the tree will allow itself to be bare and go silent and go deep within during the winter months, conserving its energy, dropping its energy into the roots of life and Gaia. And then in the spring, she'll unfurl. She'll have used that stored energy inside of Gaia and Mother Earth. And then buds will appear. And then it takes an enormous amount of energy for those buds to bloom and open and become something as stunningly beautiful as everything in this picture of nature that you can see. So there is a cycle, there's a natural cycle of life, and the cycle of life here is one of letting go. So all during the autumn, as we see the transformation that a lot of the trees and bushes and flowers make, is they start to shed their load, they start to let go. So why don't we take sort of a hint from Mother Nature on that and allow ourselves as agents of change to let go of everything that no longer serves us. Now, we've been saying those words for many, many years now, but what do they actually mean to you? Letting go of things that no longer serve you. So to be of service to the world, to be an agent of service, is to have more understanding of who you are and what it is that you're bringing to the world. And so when you start to actually ask those questions and have a deep inquiry inside of your heart, it becomes very apparent that some things no longer fit us. It's a bit like, in the most simplistic way, your wardrobe. Most of us have the absolute luxury of owning a few items of clothing or lots of clothing, and it's sort of like, is it time to shed some of those? Is it time to take some to the charity shop so other people can actually love them more than you do now? Is it time to sell them? Is it time to give them? What is it? So it's sort of like shedding. It's like moving on things that no longer serve you. And I was speaking to another person today, actually, and she was talking about decluttering. And that is an amazing way of accessing the freedom of life and making room for new things to come in. And that's what this agent of change is all about. It's like change is a real thing, transformation is a massively important thing, and the planet's going through the biggest transformation for many, many thousands and thousands of years. And we are fortunate enough to be a witness to this change. And being an agent of change means that we can have a positive impact on the tipping point that we're in humanity's history right now. So you'll all be aware, I'm sure, of this tipping point that I'm alluding to here, and the fact that we can really, really imbue and reinforce our energy into more love and light and conscious efforting into a more sustainable future. Or not, as the case may be, you know? So the second point that she came to mind was, she said, clarity of who you are. So I've kind of like covered that as well in the first point, really, haven't I? In the fact that it's about getting clear about who you are, what your beliefs are, what you stand for. And one of the things that I noticed yesterday is it was an enormously challenging, difficult day yesterday for most people that I would consider as sensitives or empathic. There was a huge amount of chaos in the field, and it was just, there was so much negativity around. So when that sort of thing happens, what happens is you're mooching along with your day quite happily, and all of a sudden when the field is full of this, it'll feel like it's all of your own. So it feels very much like you're having, and you will have, negative thoughts. Now, if you've been having a bit of a time where you haven't had as many negative thoughts, or they haven't been as deep, and then all of a sudden they go very deep and they go consistent, and it's longer and it's more complicated, complex, and it's really taking you down that rabbit hole with those thoughts, then that's the time to just ask yourself, is this really me? Is this whatever's going on really me? And again, I was talking about boundaries earlier on today, and in the old paradigm, boundaries were very clear. You could know where you ended and other people began, and a lot of my intuitive development teaching has been about that over the years, because if you can identify where you end and someone else begins, then it's much clearer about keeping your own energy field to the optimum health it can possibly be. On one level, that's been the truth, and on another level, the also companionable truth is that we're never really separate, we're always together, but there was an ability of the mind to be able to differentiate. With the energies that are around today, with the much higher energies, the much lighter energies, the more knowledge that's available to us now, it's become a little bit more difficult to access where one ends and one begins. So I honestly feel right now we've come back into a new school of learning, a new part of life, and that we're all back to basics. So if you're needing some help in that arena where you want to know about how to know where you end and other things begin, is just to say to yourself, is this mine? Keep it really simple. Is this mine? And if you connect in with your body will tell you whether it's yours or someone else's, or if it's global, or if it's a mixture. But as a precursor to that actual question of, is this mine? What I'd really encourage you to do is to say, from the place I'm at the moment, is this mine? Those two sentences go together. They work together in harmony. And what it means is, if you're in the high bliss points of life and you're working on the fifth dimension where there is no room for fear, when you ask that question, you're going to get certain answers. If you're embedded in the fear mode, when you ask that question, you'll get certain answers. And so they'll both be far more effective in giving you the answers that you need in order to be the agent of change and get more clarity on who you are from whichever aspect of dimensional existence you are inhabiting at the time. That's extremely important. So what we're doing is we're honouring the idea or the knowledge, depending on where you are on this belief structure, to say, I could be anywhere on this scale right at this moment, and I'm a bit confused, or I'm a bit overwhelmed, or I'm feeling things that don't feel right. So from this point I'm at the moment, Is it mine? And what always happens, and particularly with practice it gets easier to recognize, is that you are then, everything else that's not yours kind of dissolves. It dissolves out of your awareness, and so that you're left in your awareness fully with the capabilities of meeting yourself and working with what is, what's right in front of you, what's become you, what's inside of you, what your particular makeup is in that moment. So it's easier. So I totally recommend that strategy. I think we're all going back to basics now, and we need to learn again what works and doesn't work. And I've tried lots recently, and that's the one that always does. So do try that and let me know how you go with it. So it brings us on to the third point, which she says is truly loving what is. Truly loving what is. Oh, this sunshine is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to try and share that with you. So having an experience where you truly love what is. And she mentioned alongside this, it goes with expanding your awareness. It goes with expanding your awareness. So an example, I'm truly loving what is before me now. I mean, I really have sort of gone wow, like a really big wow with this particular tree this year. And I'm truly loving what it's representing, what it is in all of its differences and shapes, and truly loving what is. And what she's saying is, when we truly love what is, it assists in our capability of expanding our awareness of life. So by sitting with this over the year, it's helped me expand my awareness of love, of appreciation, of gratitude, of pure joy, of tickling me, of feeling a bit bonkers. All of those things, equal measure. So she says what this will do for you is help you to gain insights into the different qualities of your approach to love. How does that feel? It's a game changer, this one. It's a life changer, this one. Truly loving what is, expanding into your own awareness to highlight insights into how you have differences in your quality, in your approaches to love. See, love is a complex thing, isn't it? You know, it's complex, and it can be everywhere in everything. But this is about, if you can truly love what is, if you can truly love the weeds as much as the flowers, if you can truly love the chaos that's in front of me this morning, if you can truly love this and this and this and this, it shifts your perception into a more loving world, despite what we're being told. Okay? So that's a possibility. Okay, there's two more. You bear with me with this. Are you enjoying it? September is going to be awesome. So the next one is an immense sense of freedom. You're going to love this one. So this one is about you building and allowing your joy to overflow, right? So not for yourself, but to really get it in your belly and all parts of you, and let it just come up like a waterfall and share that joy of becoming the leader in your own life. So an immense sense of freedom is absolutely available to you by everything in the cosmos in the whole month of September. So it's about allowing yourself. So start to notice when you're not feeling free, when you're feeling trapped by a thought, a situation, an environment, and change it into freedom. Be the leader. You've got the ability. You've got the say-so. You've got the courage, tenacity and the knowledge to change the blooming thing. If you don't like it, if it's not freedom, change it. Do something different. Try and sort of look at that fear of change and move it into, I am frightened of that change sometimes, and sometimes I'm just feeling free and I'm okay with that. Be okay with it all. Love what is beyond the restrictions into freedom. And then last but not least, she says, if you can bring some of those into your reality this month, what it actually gives you is it moves us away from us and them. Away from the old paradigm of us and them, us and them, us and them, this and that, right and wrong. And it brings us into I and we. So if, she says, you can work with being the agent of change, clarity of who you are, truly loving what is, enjoying and inviting in this immense sense of freedom. And she says it gives you the I and the we instead of the us and them, which I think is phenomenal. And she says one of the ways you can actually work with that and make it stronger in you is to focus on humanity's greatness. Focus on the hopes of humanity. Focus on the beautiful, amazing, scientific findings that are going on in the world that are going to be able to build a really, God bless us, we probably won't actually recognise it in 12 years' time. It's going to be amazing. So focus on the hopes and the strengths and the goodness and vitality, the amazing things both in science and both in spirituality and love and love and love that's actually available for every human on this planet. She says the more you focus on that, the more you bring your awareness into the I, because you need to be a part of it, the I am, the I spirit, into the we. Let's work together, let's have community, let's collaborate, let's work as unity consciousness. It brings it into that rather than duality consciousness and us and them and and all that belongs into the old playgrounds, not into the leadership of our own life and luminaries that we are today. So, that's September. Also, just a note for the diary, she says there's going to be a massive infusion of really good energies arriving between the 5th and the 9th of September. There's other things going on later in the month that she wants me to address later in the month, but right now, she says it's going to bring a lot of momentum. So this kind of energy is really good for getting things off the ground. It's really good for movement, decisions, being absolutely clear that that's the way you're going to go. And she said use that energy really well because it acts like a nice foundation for the rest of the month and in fact the rest of this year. And she said the way of just recognize it because it's supplying this energy for you to enjoy engaging in life. So, you know, if you think of having a nice gathering, or you think of actually teaching some stuff on, or you're thinking of having a party, or you're thinking of having some silent retreats somewhere, or doing any of those things that actually serve you and help you to drink from the well of spirit for you, and therefore that benefits humanity, and that benefits the planet, and that benefits the universe, then that's the time to do it. During those times is like the, it gives the, what's she calling it? Like the raw energy, the raw ingredients, if you like, for you to enjoy really waking up again and engaging in life. Now, I pulled some cards before I downloaded that information for you for September. And I pulled them from 3 different decks. The first deck is Animal Spirit by Colette Baron Reid, and it's number 54, and it's called the Skunk Spirit, and it's saying know your worth, which I think ties in beautifully with some of the things we've covered already. So see if you can just receive the picture and the colours and the detail. It's like a mandala in itself, inviting you into the depth that the artist has produced here. And then the second one is from Rebecca Campbell's light oracle cards, and it's called Starseed, and it says, what lights you up? So this is this card. What lights you up? So this is a great question to ask, an absolutely fabulous question to ask during those days early, from the 5th to the 9th of September. That's a fabulous, fabulous question to ask yourself. And then last but not least, Diana Cooper Unicorn cards. We've got two that came out of the pack for us for this one. One was soul satisfaction, and the message of aim for that which makes your soul rejoice. Aim for that which makes your soul rejoice. And last but not least, they go together really. The other one is also talking about soul, and it's about soul purpose. And it says, act on your soul purpose today. And if you're wondering what on earth your soul purpose is, you get a hint about that by what brings you the most joy. What do you absolutely love? It's got nothing to do, it could be that you love being of service. It could be that you love helping people. It could be that you love being on your own and say, bugger off world for a bit. It could be all sorts of different things. Soul purpose can be many different things, not just one. But if you're just at the start of that inquiry about why you're here and what you're here to do and all of that, then follow the joy, because the joy will give you the answer to that one. Okay, my loves, as always, I'm really looking forward to our chats in the comments field below. And, if you think someone else would benefit from this, if you could share it, that would be fantastic. If you like the messages or what's coming through me, then just subscribe to my channel so you'll get a little notification. If you ring that bell, tap that bell next to the subscribe button, you'll automatically get a little note to say when I'm putting a new one of these up. So recognizing that we're in transformational times on a scale that I haven't seen before in my lifetime, I'm considering this, and I invite you to join me in a perspective of humble acceptance and loving what is, and to actually be feeling very honoured that we're in a time of privilege as human beings to be able to be at this point in time and space in this universal plan. We've actually chosen as souls to be here in this human form at this time, because we can be the change that we're looking for. Love you loads, everybody. I look forward to having chats with the comments below, and I'll see you again soon. Lots of love. Bye for now. Mwah.